Gunfire echoed through the corridors while she remained alone on the 42nd floor of the accounting department. As her colleagues fled, she turned to her computer and did something in 30 seconds that turned the entire building's security system against the attackers. How could this ordinary accountant have done such a thing? From which city in the world are you watching this video today? If this story moves you, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss stories of hidden heroes. In the 47-story Meridian Business Center in the heart of downtown, keyboard clicks echoed monotonously on the 42nd floor. As sunlight streamed through the large glass windows, Ellen Carter continued working in the quietest corner of the accounting department without lifting her head from her computer screen. Ellen's desk wasn't different from the others. Same standard office furniture, same gray color scheme, same ordinary appearance. The only difference was the number of Excel files filled with numbers on her desk. Her colleagues often joked, "Ellen works like a robot. She never gets tired." She really didn't get tired, because these numbers weren't ordinary financial data to her. Every row, every column was a carefully coded piece of information. What appeared to be company income and expenses were actually a system for tracking international money flows, suspicious transfers, and criminal organizations operating worldwide. Ellen Carter had served as the youngest analysis specialist at the National Security Agency 15 years ago. She worked in a special unit known to very few people, delving deep into financial intelligence. She would track terror organizations' funding sources, solve money laundering networks, and map entire organizational structures from a single account movement. But everything had changed in 2018. During a highly classified operation, her identity had been compromised. When her life was threatened, she officially left intelligence and entered civilian life with a new identity. Or so everyone believed. In reality, Ellen continued working in what was called the most secret type of assignment, deep cover. While appearing to be an ordinary accountant, she was actually at the center of America's most critical financial intelligence operations. Every day she would come to work, pretend to look at normal Excel files, but actually monitor over 200 suspicious financial networks she was tracking worldwide. This morning she was working as always. At 9:45 a.m., a new data packet that appeared on her screen caught her attention. 2.3 million euros transferred from a bank account in Ukraine to Switzerland, then split into 3 different accounts from there. It appeared to be an ordinary transaction to the naked eye, but Ellen's trained eye caught the anomalies. The transfer time, amount, and account number patterns pointed to a network she had been tracking for 6 months. This organization, codenamed Red Octopus, was involved in arms trafficking in Europe and the Middle East, providing financial support to numerous terrorist organizations. According to Ellen's calculations, they were planning a major operation within 3 days. She began typing rapidly on the keyboard. Using codes that appeared to be ordinary accounting formulas, she sent an urgent message to her superiors. Then she logged out of the system and returned to her normal work. No one knew that in those 5 minutes she had prevented a potential terrorist attack. When lunch break came, her colleagues invited her again. "Ellen, come eat with us. You're always sitting alone at your desk." She politely declined, as always, because lunch break was the busiest part of her working day. During these hours, financial markets worldwide were active, and the most critical movements occurred. At 2:30 p.m., an alarm sounded on her screen. This was a special alert only she could see. A new movement connected to the Red Octopus network had been detected. This time the transaction was much larger, a $50 million transfer coming directly to an account in the United States. Cold sweat ran between her fingers. Such a large amount meant a very big operation, and the target was America. She immediately activated the secret protocol in the system. The ordinary accounting program visible on her screen was actually a connection point to the most advanced analysis system of American intelligence, called Nexus. Within 30 seconds, she uploaded all the data to the system. Artificial intelligence algorithms immediately began analysis. The result was terrifying. A coordinated attack was planned in downtown, exactly in their area, today, at 4 p.m. The Meridian Business Center was among the targets. Her heart was beating fast, but she maintained her composure. Her 15 years of experience told her what she needed to do. She immediately opened the secret communication channel and transmitted the situation report. Then, pretending to return to her normal work and accessing the building's security system. There was a fact very few people knew. Ellen's past wasn't just as a financial intelligence specialist, but she had also received special training in cybersecurity. This is why she could secretly access the Meridian Business Center's security systems. At 3:45 p.m., distant gunshots began coming from the corridors. Initially, no one took it seriously. Maybe construction work was being done somewhere, they thought. But the sounds were getting closer and becoming more distinct. While Ellen saw her colleagues looking at each other in panic, she was working rapidly on her computer. She had already infiltrated the security system. Camera footage from every floor of the building was open before her. The scene she saw was terrifying. A 6-person armed group had entered the building from the basement level. Their professional equipment and coordinated movements showed these weren't ordinary criminals. The Red Octopus operation had begun. "Everyone get out! Emergency!" shouted security guards, their voices echoing in the corridors. All employees in the accounting department panicked and got up. They grabbed their bags and started running toward the exit. "Ellen, come quickly!" called the department manager. But Ellen didn't move from her spot. From what she could see on the screen, the attackers were seizing strategic points. They had disabled the elevators and taken control of the stairwells. Escaping from this building was now impossible. But there was something they hadn't calculated. A ghost lived in this building. Ellen locked the doors after her last colleague left. Now she was alone. She moved her fingers over the keyboard and activated a protocol she had learned 15 years ago but never used: the Doomsday Code. This code could only be used in the most critical situations, allowing single-handed control of all the building's electronic systems. Ellen's fingers performed a magical dance in seconds. First, she took control of the building's electrical system. She turned off all lights from the 15th floor up, limiting the attacker's line of sight. Then she activated the air conditioning system but made it work in reverse. Dense steam began filling the corridors. She was listening to the attackers' radio conversations through the security system. "What's happening?" "We can't see anything," came panicked voices. The plan was starting to fall apart, but Ellen was just getting started. With the special program she opened on her computer, she was controlling all the building's doors. She began trapping the attackers one by one in different rooms. One was stuck in the meeting room on the 23rd floor. The electric doors wouldn't open. Another was trapped in the stairwell, confused about where he could go. The most dangerous one, the armed man who appeared to be their leader, had managed to reach the 35th floor. Ellen prepared a special plan to trap him, too. By remotely controlling the elevator, she brought the man to exactly the floor she wanted. When the doors opened, he found not security forces, but an empty corridor. Meanwhile, Ellen could see police helicopters approaching from the building's roof. This was when she prepared for her final move. Her fingers moved rapidly, activating the building's fire alarm system, but only on the floors where the attackers were located. The high-decibel alarms were bursting the attackers' eardrums, completely disrupting their coordination. At the same time, it served as a signal system informing police forces of the attackers' exact locations. Within 30 minutes, the entire operation was over. All 6 attackers were captured. No one was injured. Police reports would state, attackers were neutralized thanks to the building's security system. But in reality, one person had managed the entire operation from her desk on the 42nd floor without ever getting up. At 6 p.m., when the situation returned to normal, her colleagues came back. "Wow, Ellen, how were you so calm?" "Weren't you scared at all?" asked one. Ellen smiled and replied, "What was there to be scared of? Our security forces are very successful." The next day, newspapers announced the event with big headlines: "Terrorist attack on Meridian Business Center prevented." No news mentioned the ordinary accountant on the 42nd floor. Ellen wanted it that way anyway. While walking home that day, a special message came to her phone. It contained only one code: Nexus 42 successful. This was a thank you message from her superiors. After 15 years, she had saved America again, and again, no one would ever know. That evening at home, as her daughter was doing her high school homework, she approached her. "Mom, what do you do at work? You never told me." Ellen stroked her hair and replied, "I work with numbers, honey. Very boring stuff." If her daughter knew that her mother had single-handedly saved 200 innocent lives that day, disrupted an international terror network's plan for downtown, and done all this without using any weapons.